San Jose, California, over 1 million in population, of places with lots of businesses and markets, people pursuing business career. It was a peaceful day until one respected businessman was murdered. Now watch how forensic analysts determine who killed the man. On May 1st of 2018, a man by the name of Alvin Lee, a CEO of this new company, was found murdered at his own home on Mayberry and King Road. Detectives came by to look for evidence and see what possibly had happened. To find out who was the killer, detectives sent the evidence to a special forensic analyst and an expert named Barry Allen. Here, Private Detective Brian Reyes was called to the scene. He is the first responder and is now preserving the scene and recording the scene. As you can see here, he has taken pictures of the body, and then pretty soon he will start to sketch the scene. And after this, he will package all the evidence and send it to the forensic analyst. As you can see, Detective Reyes is now sketching the crime scene. He is first drawing the body and where the knife is located. He's also drawing exact points of where different objects and furnitures are in the room to make a further sketch. And then from there, he will package the knife and send it to the forensic analyst. After carefully handling the evidence, now Detective Reyes will put the knife into a box. Putting this into a box will help secure the evidence from cross-contamination or from anything messing or tampering up with the evidence. After closing the box and securing it with tape, Detective Reyes will then put an evidence tag on it. He will fill it out. On this evidence tag, it's usually the description of the evidence, such as color, sharpness, weight, and etc. After that, he will tape it and have his signature on the tape so people can know who handled the evidence. Now, Detective Reyes will do the same exact thing with the cotton swab with the blood sample on it. Since this has blood on it, it has to be packaged differently, not in a box, but in a plastic airtight bag that will keep air from going in and out of it or anything falling and touching the cotton swab, therefore contaminating the blood. From there, he will package it the exact same way, keeping it airtight and then sending it to the forensic analyst. Now the forensic analyst is now looking for the fingerprint. He has put powder on it and is carefully dusting it off to see if a fingerprint will form. And if so, if it does form, he will then get a piece of tape and stick it onto the knife and carefully what we call lifting the fingerprint. Lifting the fingerprint will allow us to identify any minutiae and any loops, whorls, or arcs and how the fingerprint is. Once forensic analyst has the sample of the blood in his hand, he will moist the con swab a bit and then add 2 drops of phenolphthalein on the swab with the sample. If the color changes before the adding of hydrogen peroxide, then it is a false positive. If not, please proceed. So since he's proceeding, he adds 1 drop of hydrogen peroxide and he waits for about 30 seconds. The end result will occur in a pink color change, and that is what you call a positive reaction of blood. After identifying all the evidence and finding out who the blood leads to, we interrogated the suspect named Philip Trong, and he explained to us what happened, and this is how the scene goes.
All the others, why do you think you stand out and you should get this job?
Well, I graduated for a 4-year college. I have a bachelor's degree. I've been looking for a job. I know you're a big company. I saw the hiring sign, and I thought this was a great opportunity to try and get an interview. Hoping I can get this job.
That's a very good answer. I'll get back to you.
Well, it was nice meeting you, Ryan.
Nice to meet you too.
Hope that I get the job. Thank you for your time.
No coming back. Next.
Hello, Mr. Brian. So I'm here for the interview.
Hello, Mr. Kenneth. How are you doing?
Good. Can I take a seat?
Yes, you can. Cool. So, out of everybody, what do you think makes you fit for this job?
Let me start off by saying I love guns and I like taking down people who cause a bad environment to this planet, and there's not a lot of detectives out there, so it'd be nice if I got this job.
That was a very interesting answer. We'll make sure to call you back and let you know if you got the job.
Alright, that sounds good. Thank you, sir.
Have a good day.
You too.
How are you today? What do you think makes you stand out from the others?
Studied a couple of years in forensics, and I also have a bachelor's degree. So I think that makes me stand out pretty well. I can be a great contributor to the company. I can contribute many things that you need help with, and I can also be there to assist you anytime, any day. So, yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Robin. We'll contact you as soon as we can.
Thank you.
You have a job.
Yes.
Have a good day.
You too.
Thank you all for coming and having an interview for my company. All you did very good. Your interviews went really great. You all had great things to say about yourselves. But I believe that Alvin has the most quality traits and fits the best role that I'm looking for. And thank you all for coming. You guys have a nice day. Congratulations, Alvin. Thank you, sir. Mr. Nguyen, it's Detective Reyes. Hello, Mr. Nguyen, how are you?
I'm good.
I just want to ask you a couple questions. Detective Reyes?
Hello, detective. Can I help you with anything?
Yeah, I just wanted to ask you if there is any suspicious behavior that you noticed going on yesterday,
Well,
last night.
last night, I came out for some air because I was having a party and I'm kind of sober. So I came out drunk yesterday a bit, but there was two gentlemen right there arguing and fighting, and I heard a lot of yelling. But I don't know what's happening. I don't remember what they were saying. All I remember was something job-wise and stuff, and I went back inside because I didn't know what's happening. I had a party going on. Yeah. So that's all I can give you. Sorry, detective.
That's great information. Thank you.
Do you need anything else?
That'll be it.
All right. Thank you.
Philip is now writing the ransom note that he handed to Alvin, threatening to kill him. His motive of killing Alvin was because Alvin got the job of CEO and Philip did not, and that made him angry, so he seeked out to kill Alvin. After finding the ransom note in the notebook, Detective Reyes also found the pen that might have been the one that written the letter. So now, Detective Reyes is running a chromatography test to see if the pens do match. And if they do, it will lead to the fact that Philip used that pen to write the ransom note, and which will also lead to another evidence of why Philip is the killer.
We happen to have found this notebook at your place. The imprints on it match the same imprints on the ransom note that was found at Alvin's death. Also, we found this pen in your jeans, and the ink happens to be the same type of ink used to write the ransom note. We have an ink analysis, and it matched. We lifted off the print off of the knife and it happens to match your left thumb. Here we have key characteristics that show us that they match. Therefore, you are being convicted of a sentence of 10 years for the breaking and entering into Alvin's home and for the murder of Alvin Lee.
That's it?
After testing all the evidence and interrogating the suspect, Philip Trung has been charged with first-degree murder for killing the man Alvin Lee and is sentenced to life without parole.